Welcome to the very first episode of the Let It BRFC podcast with me, your host Adam Hunter. You might know me as the Baldy Geordie with the NE28 flag at games, or from the Weejays blog Twitter account. During today's episode, we'll be discussing the managerial team's new contracts, fundraising engagement activities, and also in a club first, we'll be delivering some breaking news via the podcast. I hope you enjoy. So I thought in order to the podcast being named after song lyrics, I'd try and do something similar to introduce our guests. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our co-host first. He scored 22 goals in 55 games for Berwick, was a vital figure in our promotion season in 2006-2007, and he currently holds the role of assistant manager. Your job's a joke, you're broke, your co-host Kevin Haynes. Hello, Kev.
That's shocking.
I thought I was all right. Would have been better if I was singing it.
You'd be better.
Well, the alternative was to have Baby Give It Up. Do you know Kevin Haynes?
Kevin Haynes. That one.
That's the one, yeah.
That's the one. Kissy and the Sunshine Band.
So that was the alternative. I'm disappointed you didn't enjoy that. That's the best of the lot as well.
Sorry, I shouldn't have criticised you. Sorry.
Thanks, man. You're supposed to have me back.
I can't.
So, Kev, what's your reasons for doing the podcast?
I'm all up for anything that's promoting the club. That's the main reason. If we can promote this club further afield, then great. I feel it's probably been forgotten, or some people have maybe left the club behind in the last couple of years. So it's just, my opinion is just try to get everybody involved as we can.
Spot on. What's it that you're doing at the moment, so the management team in general during lockdown? How are you keeping in touch with the players?
As you can imagine, it's phone calls, it's FaceTime, it's emails, it's all the other avenues that you can, really. We tried a Zoom meeting this afternoon, the management team. That went well. Apart from Wee Daz couldn't get hooked on for some reason. He's like a dinosaur, Wee Daz. He can't get there. But myself and the gaffer and Bev and whatever, we got on and we managed to get a blether and discuss players and doing what we need to do now, aye.
So our first guest, you'll recognise from some programmes at Turnstiles at Shieldfield. He's also the treasurer for the Berwick Rangers Supporters Trust. In the words of Tina Turner, he's simply Dave Spence. Hi, Dave. How's it going?
All right, mate. How are you?
Are we having that one, lads, or no?
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad, like, that was all right.
I had a second line to that. So it goes, you're simply Dave Spence. We missed the ducket fence.
Terrible album.
Oh.
This is going to get better.
No. Sorry. I put so much time into them as well. So how long is it that you followed Berwick, Dave?
Oh, since Adam was a boy. 1964. My first match was August 1964. I've got a sister who's older than me, about 5 years older, and she went to games previous to that with one of her school friends. And I used to badger her and say, "Oh, you're going to take me, you're going to take me." And I was 10-year-old at the time, you know. And I think she finally gave in and took me. And it was August 1964, a League Cup game, and we lost. Well, we got hammered 5-0. But Greenock Morton had won the league before because in them days there was only two leagues, Division 1, Division 2, and they were a really good side. And the hammered was 5-0, and I loved every minute of it, and I've been going ever since.
So you would have been at the Rangers game then, were you?
I was at 67, yeah, I was, aye, yeah. Aye, and I went to the game after the beat Rangers 1-0 was Hibs away 3 weeks later, Easter Road. It was my first ever Berwick away game. It was 18th of February, I think it was. We lost 1-0. Jock Wallace saved the penalty, and what we thought was a good goal, which another dodgy refereeing decision, but hey-ho. Any doubt shot, which we thought crossed the line way back then, but I was right in line with it. Actually, I had perfect eyesight at the time, and I was convinced it was in, but didn't get it. Never mind.
Yeah.
Good memories though. That's what 56 years I've been supporting the club. And
Wow.
people ask me, what about it? I say, well, 6 years have been brilliant and 50 years have been shite, but the 6 years make up for it, because you always remember the good times,
Mhm. Absolutely.
You always do. It's the good times that you cherish. So
yeah, got a lot of memories of Shieldfield Park over the years.
what's your best one?
Best, probably that Rangers game, actually. And you got to see the 2 championship wins, because the very first season I done the programmes was 78-79 season, which is the year we won our first championship. And the reason I got that programme job was Dennis McCleary. I played table tennis with Dennis in the early 1970s, and he knew I attended games. And the previous season, there was an old guy called Tommy Leach, I remember, decided he was going to pack it in. Well, Dennis thought of me, he phoned me up and says, do you fancy doing this little job? And I thought, well, I'll give it a season or two, see what it's about. And I've been there 41 years doing it, so...
You must enjoy it then.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, so, and that was the year, say, we won the championship and Dave Smith was manager, and that was some team, And after we won the league that year, the following season, we're playing like the Hearts in the league. It's the only season we ever played Hearts in the league. And we actually stayed up that season to the following year, and Hibs came down. So we're in the same league as Hibs for 1 year as well. It's the only time we're ever in the same league as Hearts and Hibs, one season, in 2 years. And back then we had cup ties against like the Celtic and such like, and it was just really good times, Was
that the best Berwick side then that you've seen?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely it would be, Kev. No disrespect to yourselves in 2007. You were good as well, but that team that Dave Smith put together with players like Jim Morton, Peter Davidson, Eric Tate, the Davy Moyes and that. There was some team, yeah. Great team. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But of course, when you won the championship in 2007, I've got to say, winning at Shieldfield was absolutely special. When we won the championship in 1979, we didn't actually. I was at Cowdenbeath the night we won promotion, but we didn't actually win the league that night. We won the league a few days later because Dunfermline lost at Alloa, and we won the league by default. But winning the championship in 2007 with you boys at Shieldfield was very, very special.
It was a good day, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So
a great day.
You remember these times? So those 2 years are in the 6 years I was talking about, the 6 good years.
And finally, following a recent Twitter poll, our final guest was crowned King of Berwick, and he can be found on match days selling half-time draw tickets. It's Mark Johnson, more fondly known as Pappy, aka Because I'm Pappy, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. How are you, Mark?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
I'm good, Is that any good?
Nah, I thought it was pretty crap, I'll be honest.
Pappy Birthday was my other one.
That's probably better, like. Oh, no Pappy, no Pappy.
So how have you been, Mark?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
And I guess same question. Why is it that you follow Berwick? Or how long have you been following Berwick?
I've followed Berwick since the age of 7. Basically, just because they're my local club. I've been involved with a local junior football club, obviously, and I was introduced to ball boying at a young age, and basically followed them right through that, and just been some good moments. I ball boyed the Rangers game when Kinesia and all that, and came down, and De Boer, Kanchelskis, and there's been some good moments, some good away days. I kind of remember, like Davey, all the individual bits, but certainly, some good times.
So you don't remember the late 70s either, then? You're not remembering the late 70s, early 80s?
Nah, mate. Nah, I'm only 32, so your championship moment was probably the highlight of my following Berwick years. Like,
no problem. So we'll get straight into club news. And the first thing that I thought we'd talk about is the management team. So the management team, or it was announced that the management team had signed a contract extension for a further year on top of the current deal. It's probably a bit unfair having Haynes here, but pretend he's not. Starting with you, Dave, do you think it's a right call?
Well, we need stability. You know, we've had so many managers in the last few years. We've had more than Leeds United and some of these other clubs that, you know, that go through 2-3 a season. So, yeah. I've got to say, I've been a bit disappointed this season with the results. I'm sure Kevin and Ian are as well. You know, it hasn't been a great season. So I'm looking forward to next year. A bit of an improvement on the pitch, yeah. But
I 100% agree. I think Jano's more disappointed than I am in terms of the results. I'm probably a bit more realistic to where we actually were. Where Jano wants instant success, and Jano thinks we should have been a lot higher. And for me, I think, you know, mid-table was probably realistic for the first season in the league.
Do you think we'll improve on that next year, Kev, though? Because we're not going to have the budget that we've had for this season.
Do I think we'll improve?
Yeah.
I do. I think we're, if we get the core of the squad that we want to keep, and then add round that, then I think we will, because the core, we never had a core last year when we come in.
Yeah.
That there wasn't a core there. So to progress, having a core is going to be beneficial, and then adding round that core. So I think we'll be better off next year. But then I'd probably say most teams in the league will be better as well.
Yeah. How many of the current squad, you know, have you spoke to, and do you think you'll be able to keep up? What sort of percentage of the guys you want to keep, you think you'll be able to keep?
It's difficult. We've not spoke to everybody yet. We will get round and we speak to all the players individually. But I think there's about 8 or 9 that's signed deals or agreed or remain from last season. There's still 2 players that are under contract for last season. So the other players that we spoke to so far have either agreed or physically signed, you know, contracts. So I think we'll get, from the current squad, we'll be 8, 9
right
so far. So that's what I'm saying. It gives us that base, gives us that core of a squad who's now worked together for 12 months.
Yeah.
Or come the start of the season, will have worked together for 12 months, which I feel will be in a stronger position.
Good.
What about you, Mark? What's your thoughts on it?
Again, I think like what Davey says, it's good. It's a good thing for stability, and obviously the fact that if we can retain some of these players for next season, you know, that'll give us a good head start into what's probably going to be another difficult season, in fairness. But like hopefully Kevin says, you know, like the core of the team, we have a couple maybe additions to that, and you know, we could find ourselves pushing 8th, 9th. You know, that would be probably a successful season, really.
I think we can aim. Aim higher than that. I think we're better than that, and I think the boys that are currently here and have agreed to sign is will be better than that. Only time will tell, I suppose.
I mean, obviously, like this season is. I mean, personally, I've been relatively disappointed with the obviously you hear the budgets and stuff, and like in terms of where we're going to finish, obviously with this COVID-19 pandemic, you know, and it's been a little bit personally disappointing, like just on the back of that. But I can understand we had a slow start, all the upheaval and stuff at the beginning of the season, and you know, it's no help matters really on the pitch. But like you say, you know, if you can retain 6, 7, 8 of them bodies next year, and hopefully we can push on like a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had the BRFC Cup campaign, so it started before everyone else in our league. And
to be honest, that doesn't help. That doesn't help the players' confidence. That cup competition at the beginning of the season, you're playing against full-time outfits, and you're getting beat like well beat, and you know, that's no good for the players' confidence. And you know, the management team, you know, you find out a lot about your players, but you're not really learning anything in them games.
No. I think what you've got to take into consideration as well is we had 11 signed players the week before that cup game, that very first cup game. I think Yano had signed the 11th player, so we could literally field a team with no subs, and that was 7 days before. So we only had really 2 training nights after that to get a squad together for that first game. And like you're saying, there's nothing that you can work on tactically with 11 players and not having your squad leading up to that cup. So not having that cup buys us a couple of weeks this year, which you integrate the new boys and they understand how we want to play and understand the instructions that the gaffer wants them to work to. So I think for the team, not the club, for the team itself, it's beneficial not being in that competition.
And you've also got the fact that competition, you can't play any trialists. So even if you had players through the door that you want to have a look at, you can't play a friendly because you've got a game on that day, and you can't play any trialists. Yeah. So you're sort of hamstrung in that sense.
Yeah.
You're basically treating them cup games as friendlies, but like you say, your hands are tied on what you can do, really.
Yeah, it's true. But the only thing about that is it's good money as well, because I think the club got nearly 20 grand out of it from the sponsors, which is a big plus.
That's the obviously you get prize money as well for being in the competition. So that's obviously going to be a loss. But like I said, it's not great for the club, but team-wise, it's beneficial.
How are you thinking the year's gone, Kevin?
Probably the same as everybody else. Disappointed, probably in large, but I'm more realistic than Yano in terms of results. Have been we've lost a lot of late goals probably, and maybe lost 3 points in a few of the games and came away with a draw. But that's all a learning curve. You have to be in these situations to learn for them. So I think as a squad we'll be better season coming.
Absolutely. And I think the main thing that stood out for me this year, we concede goals in flurries. So if you look at like East Kilbride away, I thought we were outstanding, but we had lapse of concentration just before half time. And then into the second half, they scored 2 very quickly and were chasing the game. And the similar sort of thing happened at Bonnyrigg early on in the season. And it was that was sort of costing us. How do you combat against that?
It's purely a concentration thing. We try and tell the players, and we've told them numerous times, you can't just concentrate for 90 minutes. You've got to concentrate for 98 minutes almost in a game. You know what I mean? With the time that's added on. And we, like you say, we lose a lot of goals at the end of the first half or last minute, or at the beginning of halves. You know what I mean? It's at critical times where you're not quite concentrating. So that again, I take that down to learning. Players have got to learn that. And we've had a lot of young kids. I think we had the youngest squad in the league. So if they've learned the lesson, you've got to make mistakes to learn the lesson. So we're making these mistakes. Hopefully they've learned the lesson, which will progress.
Great stuff. So overall, we're thinking, yes, it's the right decision. Keep the management team on. We've got a bit of stability going into next season, and we've got an opportunity in order to build a squad during the summer.
Definitely.
What about the decision to pay the players until the end of the season, regardless if another ball's kicked? What was your thoughts on that, Dave?
I don't know if there's a choice, quite honestly, because I'm all under contract until I think the 31st of May, they're not. It's certainly, it's the right thing to do, but I don't know if they could have been put on this furlough thing that goes on, or they have to honour the contract. I would imagine because the contract till then they'd have to be paid anyway, I guess. I don't know. I think Kev will probably be the best one to answer that.
Like you say, the contract does have an expiry date, and the players are probably entitled to be paid till that expiry date. But like we're seeing it with Hearts, Hearts are asking them to take 50% cuts. We're in in a position, and I think it's great of the club to do it, is not ask the players to do that. A lot of these players could be self-employed. A lot of them might not earn money. They might be students, and for the club to honour the contract and not ask them to take a cut, I think's admirable. I think it's great.
I think it's very honourable of the club to do that.
I agree, definitely.
Yourself and Yano and the coaching staff have took a pay cut, from what I understand, or is that right, Kev?
Yes. Myself and Yano, we both had another year on our current deal. So we've ripped that contract up and signed a new 2-year contract on reduced terms to help the club. We want the best for the club, as the 3 U's do. So that was kind of our way of trying to help.
Excellent. And what's your thoughts on that, Mark?
Well, again, I think it's very admirable of the club. It shows you that the current board of directors are, obviously a caring board of directors, and they're looking after that squad and the management team, and I think it's what everybody's trying to pull in the same direction, kind of scenario, and it's really good to see, personally, anyway.
Yeah, spot on. In terms of kit sponsorship or kit deals, we are affiliated with Border Embroideries for our kit supplier. What is your thoughts on that, Dave?
Yeah, quite happy with that.
Anything to add on that, Mark?
It's good, and obviously there's I've heard a few rumours that there's going to be an extended leisure wear stuff that you can purchase, and like a bit more in depth than we had with the previous one. So again, if people are buying that, it's money for the club, it's money for transfers. It's good. It's good, really.
You gonna have your Berwick jammies on, Adam?
Oh, I've got my pants on now. Do you think that's important, that there is an extended leisure way that's available for supporters?
Again, we're a small club, but I mean, there's things we need to do to get back on side with the community, and whether that's everybody's wearing their own like club's stuff. You see we're like everybody's tapping into that market, and if it's something we can expand on and make a bit more money for the club, then that can only benefit the club and benefit the playing staff. And you've got to start small, obviously, but like I say, that if that benefits the club, I'm all for it.
So we recently, the club recently released the biggest ever sale through the club shop. The majority of that stock's now sold out. So I think you're right, and that sort of backs up your point in the fact that if we are putting more time into the quality of the leisure wear, then you are going to get people out of buying it. Definitely,
and that only can be added funds to the playing squad, surely.
So Dave, we've recently released the Supporters Trust magazine.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, it's up to the usual standard, I would say. We have some very good contributors, people like Stuart Bell. He writes some great stuff in there. He's got a great sense of humour, Stuart. Yes, I'm sure you know him well.
Yeah.
I expect you'll get him on this programme sometime soon, I would imagine.
Hoping so, yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's very well put together, and I never get any complaints from anyone about it. There's a lot of humour in it, and there's criticism whether there needs to be criticism or should be criticism, etc. So yeah, it's very good.
So that's available through the Trust website.
That's right, and there will be copies in the club shop as well whenever we're back at the ground again. Yeah, that's right.
Is that just a subscription thing, or can you actually buy a copy? Or
you could buy a copy as well, Kev. We'll get one to you somehow.
Thanks.
All members get one free. We usually do 2 a year. So yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of work goes into them, and there's a lot of good content.
What about
read them if you're criticising them?
What about an online one, Davey? Because obviously,
it's been talked about.
On the game yesterday, we had an online program, and that worked well. To be honest,
An online programme?
There was an online programme for the Rangers game yesterday.
Yeah. Well, this has been talked about before, doing it after games. I think it was Dave Bugles that brought it up, and I think that's being looked at ongoing.
But for the Trust magazine, that was like...
Well, well, again, that has been mentioned as well, and I think that's going to happen with this latest edition.
It's up there now. It's available to download as a PDF via the Trust website.
Is it there now? Was it right? Yeah.
Great. And we've also had the supporters club draw jigged around a little bit. So Mark, do you want to talk us through that?
Yeah, well, just in the last hour, we've just passed the magic mark of the 250. First of all, what we'd like to say is a big thanks to Connie, obviously for his service over the years with the scheme. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant work. But obviously, taking it online, you can widen your market, and you can get a few more people signed up to it. It's easy. You just go on the website and you fill out the form, and then there's a club member that'll get your number sorted. Like I say, we're over the 250 now, and we're donating £125 each to the Northern Soul Kitchen and the Berwick Community Trust Food Bank. So we're obviously trying to help charitable causes as well.
Amazing.
It's great. It's great if you can. It's great if you can do that. If you can support the local community as well, it's very worthwhile.
Well, just again, give you a foothold in the community and gets people talking good things about the club rather than negativity. We need to all sing from the same hymn sheet.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just a little bit unfortunate that the launch has coincided with this lockdown at the moment. Otherwise, I think you would have had more than 250, Mark. But hey, there'll be time even after it's started, I guess.
Obviously, the deadline for this month, I think, is around April the 20th. But certainly, when things get back to normal, we can push that a bit more on match days and stuff. But I definitely think it's been plugged enough on social media and stuff like that. So we just need to keep going with that and get another 250.
Yep. More than
is that achievable? 500 achievable, or what's the target?
I'm not actually sure what the target is, Kev. I don't know what the previous number was on the scheme, how many members there was on the scheme, but with this thing going on at the minute, people are counting every penny, So I know it's only a £5 to donate to get up and running, but people are watching their pennies. But hopefully, when we get kicked back on again, we'll certainly get a few more members.
So whilst we're on about fundraising, we've had a few activities that have gone through the club page. So we've had the virtual Grand National. Did anyone have a horse in that?
No,
I never.
No, just me.
You didn't have that one that was leading right till the end.
Mine fell off about halfway around.
Whose horse won it anyway?
Alan Skelly.
Alan Skelly. All right.
Yeah.
The video man.
Aye.
Mr. BRFC TV.
Oh, right. Is that the man, is it?
That's him.
There was some good prizes as well.
Yeah. Can you remember them?
Well, I think Dale Jones won the Rangers in Berwick shirt. That was the league game, I think.
Yeah.
I think he won that shirt, and I can't mind the other prizes really.
Was it £250 top prize, a 4-baller Tyneside?
Aye.
And a couple of other ones in there as well.
Yeah. There was a couple decent prizes, good prizes again.
Yeah, we had DC 93 do a 24-hour Football Manager stream. Are you a Football Manager man, Dave?
No, I'm not.
No. Dave?
What is the? I couldn't quite get the grips yet. I don't know what it was.
A Berwick fan, DC 93. He has a Twitch channel. So Twitch is an app in which you can stream yourself playing games. So there was a 24-hour stream which he was logged in for. As Berwick Rangers manager, and he was playing the game during that time, and then obviously having a bit.
Who runs that then?
DC 93 is called. It's a lad from Sunderland who follows Berwick.
Right.
So people logged in and just watched him playing this game?
Yeah, so it's all community based. So there's like a little, there's a little video of him in the bottom right hand corner. and he'd be talking to you. And then there's sort of like a chat room at the bottom. So fans were logging in and having a bit of crack with him. And then in the main part of the screen, you've got Football Manager playing.
Sounds great.
But you raised 500 quid.
I seen that. That's. I still don't understand how you get about that. How you raise the money? Just donations, is it?
Beyond me as well, I think.
It's the way of the world. It's the way of the world, lads. People watching people play Football Manager games and just games in general.
I'm still using teletext.
Class.
Mark, you're a Football Manager fan though, right?
I've just started a new season actually with Berwick, believe it or not. It's the old version, 2019 version, and it's not going very well. I understand Kev's job now, to be honest. even in the fake world, I totally understand where he's coming from. There's name on it after all.
Nobody happy.
Nah, can you sign any players? You just can't get anybody.
It's the new world, isn't it?
I feel your pain, to be honest.
And then finally, we've got the Just Giving page, which has just broke £10,000 yesterday. So that's 100% going into the playing budget for next year. Big news, Kev.
Great news. And personally, I'd thank every single person that's donated something. That's for the whole management team. The gaffer's delighted, as is Daz and Bev. So thanks to anybody that's donated anything.
Yeah, so the page is still open for donations. And again, remember that this 100% will be going into the playing budget for next season. Dave, what's your thoughts on the overall fundraising aspect of the Just Giving page?
Yeah, it's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I didn't expect it to get to that figure, so to achieve £10,000 is brilliant. Yeah, really good.
And Mark?
Again,
it's brilliant. Any donation is fantastic. To be honest, it's obviously it's getting pushed quite a bit through the social media platforms that the club have currently, and obviously, the thing that we're seeing on the social media pages at the minute is top notch. It's up there with the best clubs in the country. And it's good to see people donating and getting behind the club. I'm backing it.
That's been a big massive push this year that the guys have done with the social media, hasn't it? Since the turn of the year. It's been a big massive drive to be out there socially as a social media. And again, it's just another line of promoting the club, and you're kind of putting the club in front of people's eyes, forcefully putting it in front of them. So they've been great since the turn of the year in that aspect.
Whilst one with social media, we streamed the Rangers game yesterday. Did you all watch that?
To be honest, I didn't, because I'm still having nightmares from the time I watched it when I was there. Still boiling about that goal that wasn't given at the end.
I caught up there. It was, I think I watched it live at the time, but I purposely watched it yesterday just because it was on, you know what I mean, and it was there. Enjoyed it, and it's all day, but you think Berwick should have won that day.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you giving the keeper some stick, Kev.
Big Yossi.
Yeah.
Big Dropsy, that's what I call him.
Dave, you mentioned that you can remember the game well. What can you remember from the game?
The game 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was just huge. Glasgow Rangers in town, and I saw a lot of programmes that day, as you'd expect. There was over 4,000 there. Might not have seen Berwick play Glasgow Rangers at Shield when there was 13,000 in there. That was a long time ago, of course. And Berwick played really well that day. They did. Fraser McLaren scored a cracking goal. I remember just when Rangers got their goal, I just finished counting the programmes because I missed most of the first half actually. And I was standing down by the tunnel when Andy Little scored their goal just on the stroke of half time. I thought, oh no, But we came out the second half. Like I say, I didn't see very little of the first half. The second half, we were the better team, And
I agree.
Won it. Well, and should have won it. Yeah. No, it was very good. We had a good side back then. You look at some of the players we had at the time.
There was a lot of good individuals there, weren't there?
There was, because Lee Curry especially was at the top of his game then, you know.
Yeah.
And, he's still not a bad player now as well, of course.
And Lavery as well, is Lavery not up there with the goal scorers?
Yeah, Stevie Notman, yeah, no, so we had a decent side back there. And, you know, I think somebody they didn't remember Dean Drouge, and I thought, well, I can remember him, and he was right back, and he looked a good player, but he was injury prone. We didn't get much out of him, quite honestly. I don't think he's seen that season out, you know, but he was a decent player as well. We had Chris Kingsley and big Dougie Bryden as a centre backs, who are both good players, you know. So yeah, it was a good team we had back then.
Yeah, I thought in that game in particular, I thought wee Kevin McDonald was good that day. We were watching the game yesterday.
Who's that? Sorry,
wee Kevin McDonald.
Oh, Kevin McDonald. Aye.
Watching that game yesterday, I thought Geordie was good. I thought he played well in that game. But it's another good player, you know, another good individual that was in that squad.
Yeah, that's right. Because, of course, Yano was manager that season, and it's the only time since we got relegated in, 2009, that we've got in the playoffs at the right end of the table. You know, we've actually finished fourth that season when Glasgow Rangers were in that league, you know, so we had a good side that year.
Yeah.
Dave mentioned Lee Curry there, Mark. Should he have been sent off?
I think it's just a typical Lee Curry challenge, to be honest. I think it was lucky it was so early in the game. The referee gave him the benefit of the doubt, I think. But it was high. Let's say it was high.
To be honest, I think he should have gone. Even though it was early in the game, it was a bad tackle. On Ian Black, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Nancy?
100% should have been sent off. Cousins got that in his locker, didn't he? Lee knows what he was doing. Lee knew he was going to make an impact by leaving one on Blackie, and that's what he done. So he got away with it. Part of the game.
He was outstanding for the rest of it, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, indeed.
Got a great range of passing.
The pass for the goal.
Yes.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah. Aye.
So you alluded to the goal itself there, Dave. What can you remember about it?
The ball, it was from the left-hand side. The ball was played forward from, I think you say Lee Curry, yeah, and he was quite a narrow angle, and he got it past the keeper. A good shot just off the inside of the post. Yeah, good. Yeah, and of course I went to the two games at Ibrox that season as well, and he scored another one. He scored a good header in it was a 4-2 defeat. We're 3-0 behind, and we scored 2 goals. Fraser scored, and Ross Gray got the other one. 3-2 behind. I thought, oh, hey, we're going to shout here. And then they got a fourth one a couple of minutes later, and 4-2 it ended, you know. And of course, the 1-0 game was where they won the championship and they unfurled the flag and that. And there was actually, I think it was 52,000 at that game. And it's a world record for any fourth tier game. I think it was at the time, and I'm sure it still is.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah,
incredible atmosphere. But how that Rangers fan got in with a drum, I don't know, because mine thumped head in the whole game.
Kevin and I just talked to Fraser in an interview in an episode that'll be coming out separately, and he was a bit disappointed not to score again. Mark, do you think you should have scored?
In the Rangers game?
Yeah.
I must have missed that, I'll be honest. I can't mind much about the
day. Was that not the shot he had just before we got the corner? With Townsley's disallowed goal. He had a shot that was going in the top right-hand corner, which the goalie
the keeper made the quality save there.
Made the corner, and the corner came off. Townsley nodded in, it was disallowed. If that's the one...
The one Fraser was talking about, I think he got played in again, but he had taken a bad first touch. Right. And the ball had run back to the goalie. If he had a great first touch and then he had a shot at goal, I think that was the one he was disappointed at, that he didn't get his first touch right. And get his shot away, but that was at 1-1.
Right.
He was disappointed with selling that one.
And then obviously the goal for Chris Townsley that was disallowed. Mark, can you remember that?
Well, it should never have been offside, really. No, it wasn't even offside. It should never have been disallowed. I don't know what the referee was. I've never seen, and watching it back again. Yes, I was disappointed there was no replays. To see it again, like it was crazy why it was like disallowed.
I couldn't see any reason. I couldn't see any reason why it was, and it, I watched it a couple of times, but I couldn't work out why it had been disallowed.
And you never know, that extra 2 points. I never know what the league standings were at that time at the end of the season, but that might have got us an easier tie in the playoff. I don't know.
We just made the playoffs by goal difference. But I'm not sure what the difference was between fourth and third.
Yeah, that's right. I think it was us in Elgin, if I remember right, because I remember being at Ibrox at the last day of the season when we were playing that game, and I think the Shire were playing Elgin, and I think Elgin had to win by about 7 to overtake us, but I think they won 3-2 or something like that. And yeah, that's right. It was goal difference.
Unfortunately, we didn't take a Haynes at Ibrox.
Yeah, well, there was that and all. You know, we kind of hoped that wouldn't happen. You know, and it didn't. No, we played well that day again, and then lost by the single goal.
Great stuff, but a good time for the club, like you said. It's probably our most successful of recent years. And then you've got the money in from Rangers being in your league. We'll move into the next section. So we do have some breaking news for you in relation to players signing extensions to their contract for them to remain at the club next year. We have Dan Purvis, Ali Forster, Kevin Wolf, Ewan Smith and Sam Daniel all signing new deals. So it'd be great to get your thoughts on that, Mark.
Again, like we touched on at the beginning of the episode, it's good for stability. And again, if we can get another 1 or 2 bodies to stay on, and we can kick on next season and get a good pre-season under our belts. And obviously, I would imagine this season's going to be it's finished now. I'd imagine. So it's all about planning. It gives the management team extra time to plan for this, as uncertain as that is as well, mind. But it's good to see that, like I said, Dan Purvis especially. I think he's been outstanding, and Kevin Wolf again. He's another one. He's a standout performer for this season. Sam Daniel, he's just came in not long ago, so. Not really seen enough of him but again, obviously if the management team have said that he's going to be in their plans, he's obviously good enough.
I think the one for me, young Dan Purvis, I think he's really exciting. I think he can get bums off seats. You know what I mean? And he's so dynamic, and don't get me wrong, he's got a lot to learn, but he's exciting. He's exciting, and the rest of the guys, that you're talking about, that's experience. That's experience that we need. We need in Kevin Wall, although he's young. He's been at Hibs full time for 4 years, and he's played the loan league over different spells on loan at clubs, Megala and Civil, I think. And obviously he's a year deep in with us now. So he's experienced in this league. Ewan Smith's got championship experience with Brecon. Sam Daniels, obviously, you say, Mark is just new to the club, but he showed up really well in training. Technically superb. He'll say himself that he came in and he wasn't fit enough because he hadn't been playing at a great level in America before he returned. Home. So once he's up and running, he's going to be an attribute. Jack Wright, he's another one. Jack Wright's agreed, to stay on.
That's another bit of breaking news then.
Adam just forgot.
Adam wasn't allowed to tell you.
You maybe have to cut that bit out then if you're not allowed. No, Jack has agreed. Again, another youngster with ability, and if he listens, and particularly if he listens to Yano, he's going to be a good football player, or better than where he is at the minute. Fozzie's another one. Fozzie's a leader. Fozzie's a leader, and he can play in multiple positions. If we didn't get a goalie signed up, we'll throw him in there. He can. It's the only position he's not played, I don't think, this season. But again, he's an attribute to the club. He does everything right. He's professional. He helps the kids. He's great to have in a changing room, and I think he's beneficial as well for the club.
Is there any of the other current crop of players you're looking to sign, in particular Louis Barr?
No comment.
No comment. I just thought I'd touch it. I just thought I'd push you on that one, see if we can get any info.
We'd love to keep Louis. Louis had a contract offer, and he's within his rights to think it over.
Exactly.
But no, we'd love to keep him. He's another one that he adds a different dimension to a team, and I'm pretty sure he's got 3 lungs the way he runs about that park. But there's Callum Smith, who's already signed, and Grant Rose. They're 2 players that are already contracted, and now adding these 7 or 8, we're up to 10 right away. We're first week April and we've got 10 signed players, so it's great.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on the players signing on for another year?
Well, the ones you mentioned I'm quite happy with, particularly Dan Purvis, Ali Foster and Kevin Wolf, because they were 3 would most definitely want to keep next season. So no, very happy with that. I'd like to see Louis Barr sign on again as well, because I think he was probably my player of the season last season. Would have been Ricky Miller, but you know what happened with him. So he wasn't getting my player of the season after leaving. But no, Louis Barr's probably been the most consistent of the squad we had all season. Yeah.
I think in the latter weeks, I think him and Callum Smith really developed a partnership, and could potentially be a decent strike force together. We just allowed Lewis a wee bit higher up the park, and they hit it off really well. And then you've got the pacey Dan and whatever. So I think it's exciting. It's exciting with the boys that we've got, and the boys that we're trying to keep, and moving the club forward, and having that nucleus of a squad, can only enhance that.
Absolutely, and you look at the spine of a team being your most important. So you've already got Kevin Wolf in there. In centre midfield, you've got Ewan Smith, and then you've got Callum Smith that's already signed on for next year. So I think that's equally as important to sort of build around, do you think, Kev?
Yeah, totally agree. If you ask any coach, any manager, assistant manager, and that's where you go to first, is getting that spine on your side, and then you fill in round about that.
And obviously they're buying into what you're trying to do.
Hopefully they're taking on board, and they understand the way that the gaffer wants to play, and they obviously enjoy that style or that way that the gaffer wants to play to commit. So it's good, positive.
What about outside of the club? Have we been looking at potential new signings to be bringing through the door?
Of course we have. Can't really say much on that now. All these players are contracted to their current clubs, and there's an outside chance that this season might kick off again, really. So I'm not going to comment on that, but of course we're trying to strengthen in all aspects of the pitch, and we've got to look at players out with the club as well. So again, it's difficult when we're doing it electronically. Now you can't go meet a player for a coffee and sell them the plan. You're FaceTiming them and phoning or emailing and having discussions that way. So it's difficult. It's probably more difficult this year than any other year because of that. But no, we're trying.
Are we expecting a few more announcements over the next few weeks about players?
I would think so. I think we'll get some sort of news dripped over the next month or whatever it might be. Again, we have to watch what we're doing, because this league could start again. We've had no final say. You know what I mean? So players are being loyal to their current clubs as well. There's players that we spoke to that will say, look, I'll catch up with you in May, because right now I'm contracted with so-and-so. So you've got to sit on that. You can't just force everybody now in April to make a decision.
Yeah.
Well, what's your thoughts on that, Kev? Obviously, in regards, if the season does kick off again, like how long will it take? I know they're all part time and stuff, and they'll be doing individual training plans. But like, how quickly do you think the boys will be ready to get going again?
Well, I read in that statement, and if my understanding was right, that that they've delayed it until the 1st of June at the minute.
Yeah.
But there was a statement within that statement saying that they couldn't play games for 6 weeks to players reconditioned.
Right.
So obviously the SFA are saying, we might get back to training 1st of June, but you can't play any games for 6 weeks. It's leading you into the following season, isn't it? So my personal opinion is we won't kick a ball again this season. They'll obviously look to get the least damaging result now, I think, for this season.
What would your preference be?
To get back to training tomorrow. I've been locked up too long now, so I'm missing all the boys. I'd rather get back and see the boys, get a bit crack with the lads, and then we start playing games next Saturday. But obviously that's not going to happen.
I've got your hot tub now. Just chilling that for a couple of weeks.
I've been blowing it up all day, and I've just realised there's a pump. I've been sitting blowing it up my mouth. Nah, I'm only kidding.
This season's going to be a write-off, and the Kelty Hearts won't win the league. There won't be any playoffs and such like. It will be the same teams next season.
I can't see Kelty Hearts being happy with that. That's what I'm saying. You're not going to please everybody. I think they're just going to have to make a decision. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I really don't know the answer.
Well, to be honest, we could do with getting rid of Kelty Hearts out of that league, couldn't we?
Have you seen Bo'ness? If Bo'ness are going to come up.
Aye.
Bo'ness are a good side.
Who they all got then?
Manager's Max Christie.
Oh yeah, aye, that's Terry Christie's son.
Yes.
I remember him playing for Stenhousemuir.
Yes, aye. So they're predominantly like West Lothian based. The players are through that way, but that Bo'ness side have been together best part of 10 years.
Well,
so they're like Bonnyrigg all over again. They've been together for so long. They're serial winners. They win leagues and cups every other year, and they've got a few right good players. So
yeah.
If they have a bit back in, which they do, the whole town seems to be behind Bo'ness, and there seems to be money there that they can attract players.
Right.
They'll be good. They'll be up. They'll come into this league and they'll be top 5 in my opinion.
Right.
So you're potentially losing a Kelty, but you're gaining somebody equally as strong, eh?
And you've still got Bonnyrigg, who can win the league because they still play Kelty Hearts before the end of the season. I can't imagine them being too happy either with the league being called as it is.
Nah.
So
And we all know Robbie. You know what I mean? So Robbie will not be happy with that. He's another one. He's a serial winner. He just wants to win, and he'll not accept that. He'll not accept that it's just a case of ending the season now. But he maybe just have to. You know what I mean? It's out within all our control. It's the top men that'll be making that decision, and they'll not keep everybody happy.
Yeah.
To keep Bonnyrigg happy, you're probably upsetting Kelty. To keep Kelty happy, you're upsetting Bonnyrigg. So I wouldn't like to be in their shoes.
Absolutely not. And that brings us to an end to this week's Let It BRFC podcast episode. Thank you to Kevin Haynes, David Spence and Mark Johnson for joining us today. And thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back next week with some new guests. Don't forget to check out our interview with Fraser McLaren coming this week too. If you've enjoyed the episode today, please like and subscribe. You can also leave us a little review, it would be much appreciated. If you've really enjoyed the episode, why not head over to the 1881 Fund and make a donation to our playing budget next year. You could even leave a little comment of your name in song lyrics. Stay safe everyone, and as ever, mon the Jays.